rolling. Let's get into something else that's gonna make our head hurt. Kyrie Irving.
Perfect follow-up.
Right. So Kyrie Irving, from what he said, he learned that the name Kyrie has, I think he said it means Yahweh, or the name Yahweh and Kyrie are synonymous, they have synonymous meanings or something. So he was looking at the meaning of his name, and he was led to a documentary on Amazon called From Negroes to Hebrew. And I forgot the name of the guy who put the documentary.
Hold on, Joe.
No, From Hebrews to Negroes.
Hebrews to Negros, yeah. Hold on real quick, because I'm going to forget. Why do people look up the meaning of their names when their parents didn't name them that for that reason?
Well, you're asking the wrong one, bro.
Your mama named you Kyrie because she liked the way it sounds.
Well,
if there was some deeper meaning to it, she would have told you. Would already know. You wouldn't have to look it up. I'm sorry.
Fair point. No. That's a fair point. That's a fair point. That's a fair point.
So that led him to, we said, from Negroes to Hebrews.
From Hebrews to Negroes.
Hebrews to Negroes.
Hebrews to Negroes. Okay, excuse me. So
yeah.
So he tweeted out a link to the documentary, and after he tweeted out the link, all hell broke loose. It's labeled he was labeled to be anti-Semitic because information in the documentary was deemed anti-Semitic by members of the Jewish community.
Yeah, there was something like, I haven't seen the documentary, but from what I understand, the narrators of somebody interviewed in the documentary said that the Holocaust never happened.
I was some people that I know, I seen privy to a conversation, some people that I know who did see the video, who did see the documentary, and according to them, and these are Black people, and according to them, the documentary was denying the Holocaust and some other things, and it had information that could be deemed as anti-Semitic. Now, I haven't seen the documentary myself, but just from conversations that I've heard from people who have seen the documentary, I've heard a greater number of people say, well, I can see why the Jewish community would say that than the number of people who say, well, there's nothing in it to be anti-Semitic.
I found the bootleg copy. Yes, I'm saying that publicly. I found a bootleg copy, and I'm about 15 minutes into it. After about 3 days, so that says a lot. It looks like it's gonna be a wild ride.
I mean, look, I've been in debates, not me personally, but I've been at debates with Hebrews and other. So I already know that they're going to say things that I won't call it anti-Semitic, because to me, I'm still learning. I'm still trying to learn what that term actually means, because it seems like it's a sliding scale. But basically, so I'm not going to say too much. I don't want them to pull this from the channel. But it's when I hear that, I know that they definitely speak against the white man. They actually call the white man the devil and this, that, and the other. So and they identify themselves as Hebrews. So I can only imagine that the information in there, is going to be similar to something that would be considered a stolen legacy. So I'm not, I'm not surprised that 15 minutes in, Pat, he was like, okay, I'm gonna need my drink, I'm gonna need my blunt, I'm gonna need, some soft music playing in the background to get ready for this shit. And that's not to say, because I haven't seen it, I knew about it, but it didn't receive as much attention as it's receiving now. You know, amazingly, it's still available on Amazon for purchase if
Well,
anybody's interested.
Well, see, okay, so I'm glad we're getting into that. So, but we're gonna pin that point, because we're gonna get to that, because there's a reason. There's a reason for that. But Kyrie tweeted a link. The fallout happened. He was suspended. I think he was suspended he missed a total of 7 games. Somebody said he missed a total of $3.5 million over those 7 games. It was a list of things that he needed to do. I guess he accomplished the task. So going into the suspension, Kyrie Irving was seen as somebody who could be anti-Semitic. The owner of the Nets came out and said after meeting with Kyrie, he wasn't deemed anti-Semitic. Adam Silver, the commissioner of the NBA, came out and said after meeting, Kyrie wasn't deemed anti-Semitic. And basically, Kyrie Irving was punished for tweeting a link and not providing
context
and answers. He should have, when asked, he should have provided context and answers. Now, it's a couple things that's crazy to me that black people are doing. But so everybody was on Kyrie's side until Kyrie was forced to apologize. We all know Kyrie was going to apologize. We knew it was going to happen. We just didn't know when it was going to happen, but we knew it was, because NBA is his job. That's what he do to make his living, even though he got money, but that's his job. And so now a lot of the narratives from a lot of these black channels that I've seen on YouTube, you got a number of people calling him a broken buck. They say Kyrie has been butt broken. He's been butt broken. And it's like, y'all knew he was going to apologize.
No,
you all knew that. Man,
no,
man. Yes. Why they did?
No, they didn't.
They were lying to themselves then. Why wouldn't they apologize?
They weren't. Everything we talked about calcified frontal lobe. No, these people legitimately thought, because remember now, these people didn't know who Kyrie was outside of being a basketball player, because if they did, they wouldn't have jumped on this bandwagon in the first goddamn place.
Well, to be fair, when Kyrie was a Native American, a lot of people started rocking with him when he was a Native American, but he Hebrew.
They were rocking with him from the standpoint of him saying, that was the black community that says black people are the natives.
Right.
So now
he got the Hebrews on him.
Now he got a new group of black people, and he's really uniting all of the fringe elements of pro-blackness. But
okay.
But all of these people, and this ain't even a slight to Kyrie. This is a direct attack on the black people.
It's straight to black people.
Joe, these people did not know. They thought they had one. They really did. They really did.
They thought they had one what?
They thought they had a real one.
What did Kyrie tell people? What did he say?
Joe, you're missing the point.
My bad.
You thinking
I'm using my frontal lobe?
Yes, you got to calcify that motherfucker.
How I turn this off?
Kyrie ain't said shit. That's the point.
That is the biggest point.
That's the whole point.
But that's why narratives are being spent, because you have I keep seeing, especially black Hebrew Israelites are saying that the white man is trying to stop Kyrie from telling the truth. But first of all, ain't nobody tell Kyrie what he can and can't say. Nobody told Kyrie that he can't say that the Hebrews are the original Jews. Nobody said that. The issue came, the backlash came from stuff in that documentary that was deemed anti-Semitic. That's the backlash. But the from the Hebrew Israelites, the narrative is being spent that they don't want Kyrie to speak. They're trying to do this, and from the other side, they're saying, well, Kyrie said this. Kyrie ain't say nothing. It's the narrative. But that's one of the big issues, because now narratives have been created from his silence. And now the only thing, when he did say something, he was apologizing.
Look, Donald Glover proved this. Q from QAnon Q proved this. Kyrie has now proven this. If you want to grow an audience, do some cryptic shit and don't explain it.
Cryptocurrency proved that.
Right. People have their narratives, and they're always looking for something that's going to confirm it. And if you don't say anything that disproves what they have to say, they're going to attach you to them when it's beneficial.
Yeah.
These people did not know who or what Kyrie was. Hell, most of them probably don't even know the 5 fundamental rules of basketball, right? These people don't know nothing about nothing from nothing. All they know is it's a black man with a basketball-shaped haircut and head that play basketball and play with balls, and he's something with LeBron James. At some point, they won a championship, and he didn't get vaccinated, and Lord and Savior. That's it, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's all. Like, you trying to get these people too much? No, they saw, in our, like PC said in the chat, clout chasing. That's what this was for them. And now they mad because they dick rolled a motherfucker that had an STD. And now they got to tell everybody, I didn't fuck him.
But right. The black community stupidly put Kyrie in a position that, for one, he didn't ask to be in and he didn't need to be in. They tried to make Kyrie the next leader, the next savior, the next person to spur us to the future. And that ain't what he signed up for. That's what, and then they come, oh, he's butt broken. The man want to keep playing basketball, and he did for his job the same thing y'all do for y'all job every day.
And that point needs to be driven home, because the same people saying this shit are scared to type the word Jewish in an email.
Boyce Watkins.
Yeah.
I say his name. Boyce Watkins. Yes, yeah. Boyce Watkins are out here talking that big stuff, and you scared to say Jew on your channel, and you telling other people not to say Jew on your channel, but you talking that big stuff. Boyce Watkins. Yeah, I said it.
Joe said, "You want smoke? I'll bring you some smoke."
I'm just saying. Let's stop pretending. Let's stop pretending like we really gonna do something. Black people are complaining because we're not in a position to do anything to help Kyrie Irving.
And I think that part too needs to be truly examined, because, and it goes back to what we were just talking about previously, the lack of wanting to commit. And for the most part, now this is an additional aspect of it. A lot of these Negroes are comfortable with you cutting your neck off, your water getting cut off, as long as they don't have to get any of theirs cut off. So they're cool with you taking all the risks so that they can manufacture some of the benefits and gains. But they don't want to actually do the work that's actually required with that. Now, the one thing I will say about the Hebrews, the Israelite brothers that join, they are organized to a degree for their particular purpose. They're organized to a degree for their particular purpose. But the majority of the people, like I said, on social media, and people in social media offers great cover for a lot of people, because you don't actually have to stick your neck on the line to, right, to fight for something you believe in. And truthfully speaking, we as a community have not been interested in organizing since the 70s, from anything more than a block party. And that shit ended in the 90s. So we really have to understand that if you want to be able to take on a power, you must understand the golden rule. And the golden rule is not, treat others as you want to be treated. The golden rule is he who has the gold makes the rules. And we don't have any gold. And we collectively can scrape together, our shavings and create power.
Shillings.
Yeah, we create some shillings, but we choose to sit on the background. This is why we only get animated when it's either a major story or an athlete, because, we have stories about people that we know personally that we've tried to put out there, tried to gather support, tried to gather people, get people to rally around. And those people, the same people who are talking about, we need to stand up for Kyrie. We need to stand up for Ye. We need to stand up for all these other people. When there's people who look like you, who come out of houses like you do, who come out of neighborhoods like you do, live on blocks like you do, go shop, eat, shit, sleep, whatever, just like you do, we don't give a damn. We only care about the sensationalism of all these things going on. And that's the biggest problem, because, in a day, and by this time next week, won't nobody be talking about Kyrie. Nobody, it's already died down now. So, and nobody talking about
Like,
I was just, video pop up.
We don't need to talk about Kanye.
No, I was gonna say Kanye because I do agree with the Dave Chappelle joke. Kanye indirectly started all this.
He did.
Yeah.
It's a Kanye. This is a self-inflicted wound for Kanye. Kanye, in my opinion, Kanye, you are on your own.
No. I agree with you on that. I'm just saying people were so wound up and upset about Kanye that when Kyrie did what he did, that was the narrative. It was inside the context of everybody already being worried about Kanye
I
being
agree.
anti-Semitic.
I agree.
Now, one thing I will say about that silly ass list that came out in terms of all the things he needed to do, you know, coming from the owner of the Nets, the Brooklyn Nets, and all of the different things he's been, you know, accused of over the years in China, the different, you know, the fascism and things of that nature that he's been accused of. For him to come out with that particular list of things of that nature, that shit was out of line. And I'm glad now that people are actually going through his garbage and looking through his dirty laundry, because that's something that needs to be put on Front Street as well. You know, if you're going to have a person that's speaking from this place of morality, then your background better be squeaky clean. And his is dirty, smeared up, and he has a lot of blood on. When he looks in the mirror, you should see a lot of blood.
Hey. You know what? Real quick, Kanye West is indirectly responsible for the destruction of two black men, because not only Kyrie, but Ime Udoka didn't get the job with the Nets because it was too much controversy surrounding the team because of what Kyrie did as a result of what Kanye started.
Well, there was also some pressure from from a certain lady on ESPN who just won't leave
Malika Andrews.
No. Like, we know Malika Andrews on her pussy hole shit. We get that. Absolutely. I agree with you. But I think the Nets, had they not been involved in the situation with Kyrie, would have hired him anyways.
There's a chance. There's a chance. And I wish, like I said, just like I wish we had more to go on in terms of that. And I do agree that the climate that was created, you know, it's like once you stir up a rat's nest, then everything, you know, gets taken off the table. So I can definitely see how that led into the other thing. The Kanye West situation is
throw him. Hey, Kanye, we are not fighting for you because you mad that them white folk won't let you in their club.
Joe, you're wrong. We are fighting for Kanye.
Who is we?
Black people. That's part of the problem.
Oh yeah, the same ones who still vote Democrat, right?
No, they vote. No, these are the ones that vote.
The brainstem people.
These are the ones that vote Republican too. Kanye is the hero of the Black Republic. Him and Candace Owens are the prototype black people. They want them to get together and make babies.
Where's Candace Owens again? Where's Candace?
Well, right now she mad because Donald Trump pulled her skirt because somebody told him that she said something foul. So he basically gave her the middle finger. And now she mad at Donald Trump. And there's a whole lot of shit.
Candace Owens don't understand that she's the sellout pet that they kill in the movies. Like, you die too in the movies. I'm not advocating for nobody to kill Candace. That's not what I'm saying. But what I am saying, in the movies, the sellout don't have a good ending.
Now, the thing I say about the Kanye West situation is twofold. One, as an individual, you know, you pick a fight. But I think another aspect that we have to address is the fact that the way the response to Kanye West was more so a message to all black people. So in terms of like the response to him, well, his response, you know, Kanye set off some shit. But the response to him was more so, let this be a message to all y'all niggas, y'all better stay in place. And you better not ever speak out against bite the hand that feeds you. Right. And I think that's a message that, you know, because I try to look at what we can gain from these situations. And from that particular situation, it more so spoke to the fact that, you know, as black people, we need to be in a position of power to be able to protect what we have and keep what we protect. And we are not in that position. And Kanye, you know, I don't know, because, you know, I want to see more so how that particular situation unfolds, because I don't think we've heard. I think although it hasn't been covered, I don't think we've seen the last of that particular situation in terms of, you know, what happens with him in regards to losing all those deals and losing $2 billion in a day. I want to see the outcomes that come from that 5 years from now, because I'm just very interested in that particular dynamic because of some of the things that have been going around in terms of those contracts. So, but I get it, you know, and here's something I want to say to the next Negro that decides to speak out for all Black people. Please, please, pretty please, be organized, have a plan. When the decision to launch the Montgomery bus boycott was put in place, they already knew that Rosa Parks was going to be the one sitting on the bus. They already knew that she was going to go to jail. She was already trained and prepped for it. They had dry runs. You know, they had people who were prepared, a whole community that was prepared to actually boycott the buses and prepared to create. They created carpools ahead of time to make sure people could get to work. They made sure that they created networks of people so that people can depend on other people. So that if they couldn't go to work, they still had access to food and shelter and water. They did a whole lot of things. They even knew that Martin Luther King would be the young preacher to put out in front of this. So for the next time somebody wants to, you know, get out there, my suggestion is make sure you have all those other things in place first before, you know, you jump out there, because in these days and times, you know, you're going to feel the whole crush of the system, no matter what you do, no matter what your record is, no matter what you stand for. And I think, you know, that's kind of like how, you know, I perceive what's happening with the Kanye West situation. Because on one stand, from one particular perspective, if you're just looking at him individually and you're looking at his track record, it's, you know, but if you're looking at what's happening with, and, you know, if you're looking at what's happening in terms of the collective, you know, no matter what happens, no matter how we perceive him, we still take a hit for whatever happens to him.
I agree with that, but here's my perspective on it. I agree with you. They sent the message to Kanye. And they sent the message to all of us through Kanye. I don't necessarily have a problem with the message. Nigga, you don't have the authority to say this shit, so shut the fuck up. I agree with that message on principle. So I don't have a problem with the message. The other part is, for people that want to jump out there, don't. The people that want to be out front usually are not the people that end up out front. Though, like Martin Luther King did not want to be the face of the movement. He wanted to be a regular pastor, smashing his hoes and doing good things in his local community. You know what I'm saying? Martin Luther King wanted to be a regular dude. But when there was a need to be met, to be fulfilled, he stepped up and he did what needed to be done and became something more than a regular pastor. And there ain't no slight on his legacy. That's just, he became something more. He became what the community needed him to be, right? Rosa Parks in the same shoes. All of them women that didn't get up from their seat before Rosa Parks,
right?
All of them got left out to dry. Those were the women you could say wanted to do something. Rosa Parks was a part of a plan, like you said.
Right.
So when you go back and look through it, most of the people that are at the forefront or that are the catalyst to change, they don't want to be there. They just get put there and they step up. So if you want to be that person, don't do it. Join a planning community.
Only losers follow athletes, entertainers, and celebrities as their leaders to actually have real social change and really change their situation in life. Only Black people in America keep trying to do that and keep getting the same results. Nothing.
That part I totally agree. And Malcolm said that. Go ahead.
No, just point, because I saw, I'm hearing people trying to compare Kyrie Irving and Colin Kaepernick to Muhammad Ali. And to me, they need to stop doing that. But the reality of all three situations, even no, like we give honor to what Muhammad Ali did. We give so much honor to that. But the reality of it is there was still no change, no real resolution, no real fix for black people. Nothing got better for black people after that. He got a chance to box again, and he continued his legacy. Same as Colin Kaepernick got his money from Nike. He continued to do that, and Kyrie still playing ball. But the conditions and everything for black people is still the same.
Mm-hmm.
I want to say this. I think we take a hit because I agree with what you said, PC. We do take a hit. I think the reason we take a hit is because we keep trying to claim these people. Now we're going to take a hit regardless, but I think if we follow hardcore to Rule 12, right, the Sambo rule, and we let this person, and because to me the Sambo rule is a global proclamation. This motherfucker ain't with us. Whatever y'all want to do to him, feel free to do it with him. He's not with us. I think if we were hardcore on some shit like that, I don't think we would be. Now, we would still take a hit because, you know, people in power, black is black. We don't give a fuck what you say. He one of y'all. But I think in terms of the broader perspective, it would be a lot less harmful to us as a society and as a culture. But even with the Muhammad Ali example, like you said, Joe, he was still an athlete. I'm thinking about James Brown, right? Because we just watched his movie that had the new Black Jesus in it. I'm sorry, the recently returned home Black Jesus, Black Panther.
Chadwick
Boseman.
Right.
Yeah, you know, he played James Brown. And I'm thinking about the backlash that was faced when the movie came out from people saying James Brown was so much more than an entertainer in the black community. And I'm like, on one hand, I agree with that and I get it, but that's what happened when you let a white person make a movie. But on the other hand, let's talk about why it seems like only the entertainers and athletes get to be more than their profession. Nobody's talking about the psychologists, the social workers, the community activists that are not backed by some entertainer or athlete, the business owners, the economists. Where are the academic people that study this shit all their lives and that are the brains of a lot of these operations? Why don't they get to be more than their job?
Well, they're not popular.
Well, there's another aspect to it too, and you know, it goes back to, actually goes back to the days, you know, after the Civil War, when they finally decided to physically take the shackles off of a lot of our ancestors. A lot of that speaks to the fact that 90% of America's wealth was already owned and controlled by the dominant white society. And so they realized that the only way, and they locked us out of that economy. And whenever we create an economy, they burn those towns down. You know, one of the things that they recognize is that the only people in our community that could create a wealth class, upper tier wealth class, were athletes and entertainers. And so they had to control them. And so what you see is control. When Sam Cooke got out of control and decided he wanted to own his own masters and he was going to fund both Malcolm X and Martin Luther King, all of a sudden he's getting killed by, you know, a motel owner in Compton. You know what I'm saying? When you have, you know, when you look at the later days of Muhammad Ali, you understand that he didn't even own his name at the end. You understand that the control, you know, the control of these people were to make sure that that they control the wealth class in our communities. And if they can't control them through boule efforts, because we do have a boule, that's the, you know, the buffer zone, that glass ceiling for black folk. We do have that. So they're under control. So that academic parts of academia you speak of, they're already controlled opposition as well. The only people that allowed to shine in those particular, I say allowed, which is kind of bad in itself, sad in itself. But you got to say that for people who aren't ready for their own liberation, the only people that are allowed to get in those positions, they put the mic in front of and they create these leaders, are the athletes and entertainers. And unfortunately, even in our community, if you don't have the financials, if you're not the person driving the big car, or you live in a big house, most people don't give a damn about what you have to say. You know, and it's bad that we see respect from that perspective, because that's what we're talking about. And we don't get the respect that, you know, based on your ability to help change a situation, network a situation, your ability to control or to organize people. You don't get that. What you typically get is torn down in our community, to the point where COINTELPRO operations happen now. I think they're on autopilot. I don't even think the government has to have agencies out there, even though
black folk gonna do it to ourselves.
Right. And so, I mean, I get what you're saying, because I'm frustrated with it too. And like what I was saying before, Malcolm X said before, and he was talking about Dick Gregory, when he was talking about how, you know, we have these entertainers who are masquerading as leaders for the black community. And I think that's a big mistake. And he talked about that in 1963. So
we haven't learned, you know,
we're still dealing with it.
We clearly haven't learned our lesson, because anybody who's on TV is a leader. Anybody who's popular is a leader. Like that's the qualification for leadership in the black community. It depends on how popular you are. It has nothing to do with actual leadership ability, just how popular you are.
And that's the most important part you just mentioned, in the black community.
Right.
Because if you go to even the Jewish community, the Latino community, the Irish or Italian community, you say, who's your leader? We're a leader. We don't need a leader. We have a code of conduct. We have a culture. We don't need a leader. But the black community is always the need for a charismatic leader. And that in itself is a problem, because if you kill the leader, you kill the movement. Or if you control the leader, you control the movement. And we've seen far too often that we haven't been able to control anything in that regard.